There's a difference between being an older guy who turns heads and one who makes women inwardly cringe. You've seen both types. The silver-haired guy at the bar with quiet confidence, effortlessly drawing younger women into his orbit. And then there's the other type, the one trying too hard, the one who doesn't realize he's embarrassing himself. This isn't about looks. It's never just about looks. It's about presence, energy, and self-awareness. Nothing makes a younger woman lose interest faster than an older man acting the way he thinks she wants him to act, instead of owning who he truly is. So, if you've ever wondered why younger women seem interested at first, but then quickly pull away, chances are you're making one of these 7 mistakes. And the worst part? You might not even realize it. Number 1. Trying to act young, instead of owning your age. Nothing pushes a younger woman away faster than an older guy desperately clinging to youth. You know the type, wearing sneakers meant for teenagers, using outdated slang, bringing up TikTok trends like he's trying too hard to keep up. Here's the thing, you're not 25, and that's okay. Actually, it's more than okay. It's your advantage. Younger women aren't drawn to older men because they want another version of a 25-year-old. They want the things younger guys can't offer: stability, experience, depth, and confidence in who you are. But when you try to mimic youth, you lose the very thing that makes you attractive in the first place. The problem with trying too hard. Imagine walking into a bar and seeing a guy in his 40s wearing a backward cap, oversized hoodie, and expensive sneakers while saying things like "no cap" and "fire." How does that look? Not young, not cool, just out of place. There's a reason Sean Connery still turned heads in his 60s. He wasn't pretending to be in his 20s. He owned his age and made it look good. A man who embraces his age commands respect. A man who fights it looks like he's struggling. The right way to do it. If you want to be attractive as an older man, stop trying to be younger. Start being better. Instead of chasing trends, master timeless style. Instead of learning Gen Z slang, be articulate. Words spoken with confidence and clarity will always have more impact than trendy phrases. Instead of forcing yourself into young spaces, cultivate your own space so that younger people are naturally drawn to you. At the end of the day, women, especially younger ones, aren't looking for a man who is still trying to figure himself out. They want a man who knows exactly who he is. Number 2, flaunting your money in a way that screams insecurity. Let's be real. Money is attractive. It signals success, capability, and stability. But the moment you start flaunting it, it becomes a repellent. Younger women don't dislike that older guys have money. They dislike when older guys act like money is the only thing they bring to the table. There's a difference between being a man who has wealth and a man who uses wealth to cover up insecurity. And trust me, women can sense that difference from a mile away. How it looks when done wrong. Picture this. A guy in his late 40s is on a date with a younger woman. Within the first 10 minutes, he's name-dropping expensive restaurants, talking about his luxury car, and mentioning how much his watch costs. She smiles politely, but inside, she's completely turned off. Why? Because she's not seeing a confident man. She's seeing someone who's desperately trying to impress her. A truly successful man doesn't need to prove he's successful. He lets his presence, lifestyle, and self-assurance speak for themselves. A rich man who constantly needs others to know he's rich is poorer than he realizes. Number 3, complaining about modern women. Like it's a personality trait. If there's one thing that will make a younger woman lose interest instantly, it's an older guy who sounds bitter about the dating world. You know the type, always ranting about how women today are entitled, how back in my day things were different, and how social media has ruined everything. Sure, the world has changed, but the moment you start dwelling on it, You put yourself in the same category as the guy at the bar complaining that music hasn't been good since the 80s. It doesn't make you sound wise. It just makes you sound out of touch. Why this is so unattractive. When you complain about women, you're unintentionally sending 3 messages. You feel powerless in dating. You have unresolved resentment. You don't adapt. You just blame. And nothing is less attractive than a man who blames the world instead of figuring out how to thrive in it. Younger women don't dislike older men, but they do dislike older men who act like victims. Number 4, being overly possessive and controlling. There's a saying, the tighter you hold on to something, the faster it slips through your fingers. Nowhere is this truer than in relationships. Younger women don't dislike older men, but they do dislike older men who treat them like property. A confident man makes her feel wanted. A possessive man makes her feel trapped. The worst part? Most men don't even realize they're doing it. At first, it seems like caring. Text me when you get there. Who are you going out with? You're wearing that? But slowly, it turns into control. Why didn't you answer my call immediately? I don't like you hanging out with those friends. I don't trust the guys around you. And just like that, what started as attraction turns into suffocation. Because here's the hard truth. No woman, especially a younger one, wants to feel like she's in a cage. Why older men fall into this trap. Men aren't naturally controlling, but life teaches some to become that way. By the time a man reaches his 40s or 50s, he has likely experienced a brutal breakup where he was blindsided. A woman leaving him for someone else. Younger, more attractive men becoming his competition. Instead of trusting that he is enough, he starts guarding his partner like a possession. He believes that if he keeps an eye on her, she won't cheat. If he checks her phone, he'll always know the truth. If he controls her world, she won't leave. But here's what he doesn't realize. He's killing attraction faster than anything else. Control doesn't make a woman stay. It makes her run. Number 5. Talking down to her like she's a child. One of the worst mistakes older men make is shifting from being attractive to being condescending. It happens so easily they don't even notice. They assume that because they have more life experience, they have the right to constantly correct her, explain things, and tell her how the world really works. And guess what? Nothing kills attraction faster. How this looks in real life. Imagine a young woman excitedly telling her older boyfriend about something she just learned, maybe a new book, an interesting fact, or something she's passionate about. Now, watch how the wrong kind of man responds. Oh, that's cute. You just figured that out? Yeah, I've known that for years. Trust me, you don't really get how that works yet. It's subtle, but it immediately shuts her down. Instead of engaging with her, he's belittling her. The psychology of why this fails. Older men sometimes believe their value in a relationship comes from being the wise teacher. While there's nothing wrong with sharing knowledge, the way you do it determines everything. You can either be the older man who makes her feel stupid, be the older man who makes her feel inspired. One will push her away, the other will make her drawn to you. Number 6. Dressing like you've given up on life. Let's be brutally honest. Attraction is visual. It doesn't matter how intelligent, successful, or charismatic you are. If you look like you just rolled out of bed, you're already at a disadvantage. Many older men fall into this trap. Somewhere along the way, they stop caring about their appearance. They tell themselves, I'm too old to dress stylishly. I don't have anyone to impress. If a woman really likes me, she'll like me for who I am. But here's the cold, hard truth. Women are wired to be attracted to men who take care of themselves. You don't need to dress like a 25-year-old influencer, and you don't need to chase trends. But if you look like you've stopped trying, she won't be into you. Why this happens? Older men sometimes develop a false sense of security. Maybe they've been in a long-term relationship where they didn't have to try. Maybe they've reached a level of success where they think their status is enough. Maybe they just got comfortable, but comfort is the enemy of attraction. When a woman sees a man who puts little effort into himself, she doesn't think, "Oh, he must be a deep thinker who doesn't care about material things." No, she thinks, if this is how little effort he puts into himself, how little effort will he put into me? And once she has that thought, it's over. The difference between old and distinguished. Here's something most men don't realize. Women love older men, but they hate men who look like they've stopped trying. Look at George Clooney, Idris Elba, or Pierce Brosnan. These men aren't young, but they own their age with style. They don't try to look 20. They dress like men who respect themselves. And that's the key. Self-respect is attractive at any age. Number 7. Acting like you know everything. There's nothing worse than a man who thinks he's the smartest person in the room. Older men often do this without realizing it. They've lived longer, seen more, and experienced more, so they assume that gives them the right to lecture younger women on everything. But here's the thing, women don't want a professor, they want a partner. The fine line between confidence and condescension. Let's say you're on a date. She's excitedly talking about a book, a new business idea, or a hobby. An attractive older man listens, engages, and encourages her passion. But the man who ruins it does this. Actually, that's not how it works. You're too young to really understand this. Let me explain it to you the right way. In his head, he's just being helpful, but to her, he's being condescending. Why this is so unattractive. When a man constantly corrects a woman or acts like her thoughts aren't valid, it sends one message loud and clear: I don't respect your mind. And no woman, no matter her age, wants to feel that way. There's nothing wrong with being an older man dating a younger woman. In fact, when done right, it can be one of the most exciting and fulfilling relationships. But if you make these mistakes, if you act controlling, insecure, condescending, or like you've given up on yourself, you're setting yourself up for failure. You don't have to be young to be attractive. You just have to be a man who values himself, a man who gives her space instead of suffocating her, a man who listens instead of lectures, a man who stays sharp instead of letting himself go. Because when you embody those traits, it doesn't matter if you're 40, 50, or 60, women will be drawn to you.